Joined by Hofstra head coach Seth Tierney following the narrow 15-13 defeat to number 20 Sacred Heart. Coach, your thoughts on today's game?
Our guys played hard. I know some people might watch this and shake their head. I am so proud of our guys to be walking into the wind of the season that we've had. But I need to let everybody know these guys have worked really hard. They've done everything we've asked, and the ball has not just gone our way at times. We have to make it go our way, but the way we played versus a very talented, ranked team in the country, and to be right there, I hope it puts a little bit of juice back in these guys, and because we do have, we're in the CAA playoffs this week, and this is it's a monster week.
Probably your most complete effort from start to finish this year. What did you see from your guys that you liked that you can kind of take into next week?
Yeah, I agree. We've been battling the playing less than 60 minutes or not long enough to win games. Certainly last week, with a disappointing first half and being down 7 and then being seconds away from tying it up, something's there. Every game that we've been in, right? It's not like, that's going to end. It's just we had one more clear than them today. We both teams didn't clear the ball great, but we were self-inflicted on some of those clears, and we could use a couple of those possessions back. We miss a big ground ball early on. Shea probably didn't have the game that he normally would have, and it's certainly not on his shoulders. And then we had a couple of unforced turnovers out there. And when you play against one of these teams, you gotta cash in on those. And we failed to cash in on them, and we were still right there. And then again, I don't know. I'll have to watch the film, but someone said maybe 7 or 8 pipes. I don't know. Again, it's part of the game. But I'll close this ramble with, I love those guys. They give everything for Hofstra lacrosse, and we're going to have a great week of practice as we head into our first round of the CAA tournament.
Nico, real strong game. Him probably his best effort of the year so far. Won 13 faceoffs, 5 ground balls. How was he able to be successful today?
Yeah, I think if you look at our faceoff stats leading into this, they haven't been great. They haven't been favorable, and I can't tell you how hard we've worked at it with game plans on the wings, with what's going on, and with Nico's learning process as a freshman out there going against some of these big, strong face-off guys. He's learning, but today he did a much better job, and I think, like you said, we might have been one face-off away from being 50-50 with the number 20 team in the country. Well, again, it was improvement, and I think I'm hopeful that these guys saw that we can get in a ring with a lot of people, and we just have to play a little bit more of a smarter game, a few more plays. That's what we're dying for right now.
Blake and Austin kind of get overshadowed by your offense regularly, just because that's how it happens in sports. But another pair of guys that really had strong efforts today. What do you see from those two guys today?
Yeah, Blake Cooling. I mean, he is the epitome of what great is all around. He's a wonderful leader, captain, player, person, teammate, everything. And he, when he comes into the locker room after a game, there's nothing left. The tank is empty. Austin Clark played as hard as he possibly can. He did. There's no getting around it. There was a couple of mistakes that were made down the defensive line. We can't give up 15 goals and expect to win. Not in the sport of lacrosse, right? You have to try to keep them down to, low double digits or into single digits of what's going on. And but with that being said, we got it to a 1-goal game in double digits, and it's there. The coaches, we can just keep trying different things and try to keep pulling it out of them.
Drew Bogardus, 4 goals today, kind of breaking out of kind of a
little bit of a slump.
little bit of a slump. what allowed him to kind of find his groove again?
Yeah, Drew is wonderful. He has accepted his role earlier in the season. We were figuring it out, a little bit with having probably one more lefty, and it's a little bit imbalanced. And now, things are getting back to balance for him, and he put the ball back in the goal. And awfully proud of him. He could have turned and just, I don't mean turn on the team, but he could have turned and just been, throw it in a little bit and play a little angry and selfish, and he didn't. He kept to the game plan. And today, for him to put in 4, I'm awfully proud of that young man. He's great.
Coach, today I feel like the Turnpike style play was on full display. You guys let and caused turnovers. You guys were all over them, forcing them to make mistakes, and a lot of ground ball battles won with 3 Hofstra players in there, not to mention being overly physical more than usual today.
Yeah.
Can you just speak about the effort that you saw, in terms of the Turnpike game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had the vision of this being, certainly how our season has played out. You lose a little bit of your aggressiveness when you go down 1-2, 1-3. Like you start to try to do some things, and you're just trying to figure it out. Today, not only did we do that, but we also tried to cut it loose a little bit. And I was going to be okay with effort plays. I was going to be okay with Turnpike style. And I'm glad that you mentioned it. Those guys in that locker room down there, they gave everything. For the guys the Blue Jackets, the guys that stand behind me in Blue Jackets, they gave everything they had. And today, I had a couple of alums come up to me after the game, and they were, as complimentary as you can be with your alma mater losing. Coach, keep pushing. We're behind you. Stuff like that. I got a tear in my eye when I heard some of that stuff, because we're in here all day and night. We're trying to figure this thing out. We want what's best. Those guys want what's best. They want to give back. They want that feeling, and we're gonna get there. Or we're gonna die trying. Yes, sir.
Kind of going back from that Monmouth game, kind of feels like the switch has flipped from that second half. Scoring wise, 7-2 run in the first quarter, and the scoring wise in the first half of this game went very well. Only down by 1. How important is trying to pull out the little things? You're winning, doing a good job in ground balls, doing a good job in faceoffs. How important is just pulling out the minor details and putting it all together to hopefully turn around the season?
Oh, thank you for the question. And one of the frustrating parts is, when you guys come over as the sports information guys, and I get this packet, because the last couple of weeks, if we covered the names, you would think we won, 3 or 4 of those games. And our guys see that as well. And we brought it up, going, listen, you won the ground ball battle, or you didn't have as many turnovers, and look what you did at the face-off X, and you outshot them, and you did all these things. And in special teams, we were 1 for 1, they were 0 for 0. We got 1 there. And so we have been winning some of the stats. It's just that last stat is eluding us. And I mentioned it earlier. These guys have done everything that we've asked them to do. They've done everything that they've asked themselves to do, and it just hasn't resulted in that last final most important stat for the team and for the university, and that's winning games. And we are, we're staying locked in. We locked arms downstairs, and like I said, we're in 0-2 in the conference, so we put ourselves in the hole. No fingers pointed. We did it to ourselves. And we need to start digging, and we've got a huge game again. I don't Fairfield played later today, so they're probably just starting, but we're gonna get after some Fairfield film tonight, and we're gonna get back at it, because that's what this team needs.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.